What's up guys, it's Mr. TF Prime once again, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Fall of Cybertron Voyager class Soundwave, which does come with a Laserbeak data disc. I like the Voyager packaging. It looks really cool. You got some beautiful artwork on the left side here of Soundwave with Laserbeak. It says Transformers Generations. It says Laserbeak included. His name's Soundwave and Fall of Cybertron. Go over to this side. Same thing. Soundwave, Fall of Cybertron. Nice Decepticon symbol. In this Voyager series from Fall of Cybertron, he's the first figure. Flip over to this side, you just see another portion, because like the picture continues from Soundwave over here, and you can see Ravage, Frenzy, Ratbat, and Rumble with the Decepticon symbol on the bottom. Flip over to the back here, and you can see it says Transformers Generations. It's got him in his communications truck mode. You can see him in his robot mode there with a gun in hand, it appears, with a laser beak, which is data disc figure included, and you can see him projectiling out of Soundwave's chest, just like in the original series. And right here you got his tech specs right down there below, and a little bio read-up, which says Soundwave has spent centuries making himself indispensable to the Decepticon cause. His body is packed with electronic communications gear. He is capable of teasing even the faintest transmission out of the microwave background, cracking the toughest quantum code and jamming the most powerful signal. Together with his minions, he is one of the most effective weapons in the Decepticon arsenal. But anyways, let's open up Soundwave and see what he's all about. Now with Soundwave out of his packaging, I gotta say, I really like the look of this guy. Now, as compared to his original deluxe class figure from War for Cybertron, he's gonna be a little bit bigger. We recently received a blaster figure as well, which is pretty much the same mold as this, just a couple different, moldings on it in the chest and such, and a new paint job and a new head mold and a different data disc that comes with him. But really, this mold kind of works for Blaster more. If you've looked at Soundwave in the Fall of Cybertron game in his vehicle mode, or even in War for Cybertron, he's much shorter and kind of flat compared to this. This is a really bulky alt mode here. I like it, I think it looks cool, and it really looks good for Soundwave, and I enjoy the figure, but it's just a tad bit too big for my liking, though I still enjoy it. Now, I like the look back here, how the part of his legs just kind of looks like thrusters back here. The nice wheels, they roll very, very nice. They're not on pins, they're kind of just popped in pieces of plastic. I think I could pop one out. There you go. That's pretty much that. My one complaint though is how this always kind of pops off. This is just very, very fidgety. Now, the packaging really shows you to keep him like that, but that's not really how he is in the game. So preferred way would be to pull this out and pop that up like that, and there you go. Or you can actually put those little claws there back like that, which I really don't think looks too great, but simply pop it up like that. Now he comes with his little gun here. This is his shoulder gun, which is pretty nice looking, just golden gray, and some open plastic down here, and they could just simply peg up here. And there's another thing that I really enjoy about this figure is there's only 2 peg holes, one in his shoulder, one on the roof. So that's really nice. Not much more I could say about it. So let's get into comparisons. Here's the new Fall of Cybertron Voyager Soundwave, and here's War for Cybertron Deluxe Megatron, and here's the really off scaling here. Now a lot of people I've noticed, especially the huge G1 fans, don't give a crap about scaling. And you know what, guys, I'm tired of hearing it. I don't give a crap. We're at a point in time now we can get great figures such as masterpieces and such. When I fall into all these, G1 really stubborn fans that are, oh, we didn't have articulation, we didn't care about scaling, there was no scaling. Well, now we have it. Now we have the ability to have great figures. So you know what? When it's improper, I'm going to mention it and it's going to annoy me. So right there, that's one thing that doesn't really just throw me off about the figure, but it's definitely a big size difference here compared to Megatron, to where he should be much shorter. Now, other than that, I really dig the way this guy looks. Up here, I guess this is meant for your finger for the deployment of Laserbeak, because he does come with that as well, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the Spike Witwicky figure that you get with Masterpiece Optimus Prime, he could actually sit in that pretty well. I'm not going to lie, and I guess man this gun if you got another little tiny figure. But other than that, guys, I really like this Soundwave, though I think the Deluxe is really going to be a more preferred figure. Now, other than Soundwave here, we'll bring in the disc sets, and these are separately purchased discs here. You've got Ravage and Rumble, and you've got Frenzy and Rat-Bat. And I've done a review of these. If you haven't seen them, I will leave a link down below in the description so you can see the review of each set. But anyways, I told you in those reviews that I would show you how they deploy in Soundwave here. Now, this is a gimmick that a lot of people really aren't big on, and neither am I, and it's kind of the reason why this figure is so big. It's just because you wouldn't be able to have these discs included with him if you didn't have him this size. So you can push that down, and it's your choice or not, but you lift this back, and now this whole spine thingy in here is really, I don't know if you could see that, but you push this in just like that, and that is what deploys the disc. Now, you hit the button, and that's going to lay flat like so. And there's buttons on the bottom of these data discs, and what that does is kind of pops them open like these, like Bakugan. What you're going to do is simply, I guess you could do it like this too, and just push that forward, and then he'll pop out like that. Now you see what I was meaning. Oh, now he opened up because I fidgeted with him, but you guys saw how he only opened up a little bit. He didn't fully transform into Laserbeak. But yeah, here's the Laserbeak figure. It's pretty much the same thing as Rat-Bat, just new paint and a different head sculpt. Not really too different. Like I said in the review of the other data discs, these guys are really just nothing too special. It's a nice plus for your, Sound Blaster, Soundwave, and Blaster figures, but it's really nothing too great. Now, you can store up to 3 in here. So, push that back. You can either stick your finger in there, or you can come back here and pull this all the way back. Now, getting them in there is really kind of a pain. You got to really line them up just right, and man, it's just tough, and they come apart sometimes, and you really got to force them in there to where you feel you're going to break it. Now that'll go all the way back in there. Let's see, we'll get Frenzy out here, and you can stick him in there too. Again, really nerve-wracking. You feel like you're gonna break these little things, even though I said they're not too great. It's just the point of you wasted money on buying these, and then you're gonna break them. That's really what it comes down to. Now, when it comes to getting the third one in, that's the one that really just doesn't want to hold together too well. Now, I don't know if you could see that, but it's really uneven here. Now, this piece is pushed in more than the rest of the disc. That kind of sucks. You could close it up still. It doesn't feel like it closes all the way, but you could still do it now. And then just put this back like that. And now here's where it goes haywire. You can do this. You really got to push. As you can see, it's trying to come out, but it's just not doing it. Whoa. Now I shot all 3 of them out, and that was just an utter mess. You can't even really, when all 3 are in there like that, it's really hard to deploy one at a time because you're trying so hard to get the third one out that's in front that you put so much pressure that the rest of them actually pop out with it. Now, with that being said, guys, the gimmick is really not worth picking up for this guy. So that is going to just be one disappointing thing. I saw it and I was like, wow, this is cool. Finally some implementation of data discs and such, and I thought that was really kind of cool. Which it is, don't get me wrong. I think it's a really neat idea. I just think it just doesn't work very well. And this, again, just not stay up here very well. Very annoying. But now getting on to Soundwave's transformation, you can unpeg the gun here, put that off to the side. You can flip that back like so. You can push that in. Come back here. These are the feet. You can untab them. Bring those down, and now the crotch piece is down here, so you're going to want to unpeg it like that, straighten out the legs, you're going to have to rotate them, and then peg it in right at the bottom there. Once you do that, you can flip open these feet, or flip down I should say, and you can rotate the wheels downward, like so. Now that you've done that, you can come over top here, and you can rotate these, take these, rotate the wheels back, untab here to reveal the head, unpeg, and now there's like a double kind of hinge in here. You just want that up like that, rotate the arm down, flip this back, do the same exact thing over here, come under here, flip his hand out, do the same exact thing here. Now, once you do that, you can come back here, take this, hinge it down like so, rotate that, sorry, hinge it forward, and then you can kind of rotate that down and then down over here and put that in. Now, it's only going to go that far because you have laser beak in there, and you can put the wheels back a little bit and kind of lean that and then close it up like that, but that is only because we have laser beak, but we'll get to that in a minute. And lastly, you could take his gun and simply, like I said, one peg hole up here, simply just peg that in, and now we have Soundwave in his robot mode. Now, once he's in his robot mode, there's one thing you're going to notice right off the bat. A lot of reviewers, what they like to do is turn the forearm out that way and rotate the wrist. Okay, that's fine and dandy and all, and this is how they tell you to transform it. But me personally, I don't like that because you're just seeing solid gray and you're seeing the ratchet gear. I really like the purple and red and blue detailing in here, so I prefer to have his arms like this. Whatever you like to do, just go ahead and do that respectively. But this guy, I actually really dig the way he looks. Now, compared to his War for Cybertron counterpart, the Deluxe, a lot of people really prefer that one more, as far as I've seen. But this is still a perfectly acceptable Voyager Soundwave. I think he looks really just as good. The only real issues I have with this robot mode is probably going to come down to this backpack here, which I'll come to in a minute. But really, awesome looking figure. Now, for his articulation, he can rotate here 360 degrees because of that double hinge here. I mean, you could work with it and really put it down like that if you wanted to, but it's manageable. He can go out that way, he can go in, he can rotate at the bicep 360 degrees, that's on a swivel there. His fists can go out and in pretty far, and that can rotate 360 degrees as well. His fingers are not articulated, as well as you come down here on the waist, this does not go at all, but he can go out and in, forward and back, bend at the knee, right above the knee, he can swivel 360 degrees. And at his foot here, because of transformation, you can go forwards and backs like so, and really nice poseability. Oh, and lastly on his head here, this gun can get in the way, but this can swivel 360 degrees like that. But it's really tough, so it's going to be even tougher with the gun in here because it's probably going to get in your way. But truly a nice looking figure. You can lift this up if you'd like and arc it like that, I suppose, but that's really not accurate. He should have the flat chest. That's how he's truly supposed to be. Now, one other thing that I find really cool about this guy is his one hand here. It actually is kind of like arced like this. So you can take it and put it up here on the button. See if I can manage this a little bit. Kind of put it like that. Make it look like he actually pressed the button to now pop open his chest and deploy a data disk. Now, with that, it's the same kind of gimmick. Just come back here and push that into his back, which isn't working too well, and you could fire it out like that. Now, you pretty much saw how much force I had to do. I just couldn't push it with my thumb into the figure. I literally had to shove it in there and pull the whole thing out. Now, as you saw, because of the flat base here, that pushed the button on the bottom of the laser beak data disk, and that deploys him into this, and that actually worked rather well. Some of the other figures really don't work with it too much, but we'll get into that in a second. As you see here, pull this whole spine thing really out, and that gives you all the room in there to store the other data disks. Now, if you close that up, you can take this, open up the wheels a little bit just to get them out of your way. Now we can close that up all the way, and that looks a heck of a lot better. A lot more flush against his back. I mean, it could go a little bit in more, I would prefer, but still very nice. Now, just to give a quick group shot, here's Soundwave, and I'll take Laserbeak and just kind of lay him up there. We're bringing the rest of the data discs, and that is Ravage, Rumble, Frenzy, and Ratbat. Now, this is just a nice little shot here, so you can really see what he looks like with all the other discs. Again, the discs aren't too amazing, but it adds that nice little touch if you were going to put them on the shelves. Now, for Ratbat here, it'd be much better if we get the figure on some kind of angle or something, or I like to just lay him on top of the disc casings, but that's that. That's a nice little shot there, and I think it really brings out the figure more. Now, when we get all the data discs out of here, and we move Soundwave off to the side here, we can bring in War for Cybertron Deluxe Megatron, and again, scaling really off, Do I think it's really going to annoy people? I don't think it's going to annoy them too much, but people, I honestly think, are going to prefer the deluxe Soundwave just because the gimmick isn't really implemented too well. They're going to prefer that one. Though I really, honestly, guys, I think this is a great figure, and I can't recommend him enough. But compared to Megatron here, he's really outscaling him, especially in all aspects, in width and height here. And then lastly, I'll bring in FOC Voyager Grimlock with him, and you can see they're just about equivalent in height if you go from, you know, head to head here. So they look nice together, but still, Soundwave is huge as compared to what he should be compared to other Transformers. Now also, guys, there's one thing on the packaging we're supposed to get, and that is a gun. If you look at the back of it, there's a little kind of gray silver pistol that is supposed to go in his hand. And I've searched my box. I still haven't found it. It shows on the Sound Blaster figure as well. I've yet to see it. So I don't know if it's just I got screwed when I bought these two and it didn't come with it accidentally. I don't know what the issue is, but I've watched reviews and I haven't seen anyone mention a gun with him at all other than the one that's on his shoulder, which, by the way, of course, we can unpeg and put in his hand, which, whatever. I really don't prefer that. I prefer the old school kind of look here with it being on his shoulder, and that's that. Now also, with Laserbeak, there's also photos with him in his arm. Now, there's ways you could do it, but he's not really sitting there like a... I mean, I tried putting the little button in his hand on the bottom of Laserbeak here, but it really doesn't work too well. He just kind of flops off. That's why I more or less really keep him up here and kind of balance him between the shoulder, the gun, and the head of Soundwave. It just looks a heck of a lot better in my personal opinion. But also, you've got this giant hole in here, as you can see my background through it. That's why I really don't like putting his arm like that. I mean, it's the same thing if you arced it like that, but also, you're not going to get an elbow joint unless you rotate it that way, which is why I think a lot of people honestly turn the forearms like that. But again, simply fold that back, close it up like this, and do that. And then you can press this button, pops open his chest, push that back a little bit, take your Laserbeak data disc, and as simply as you can, force it in there. And you can move it up. Gotta get the wheels out of the way so you don't kind of crush them. Move it up as close as you can. That way you can close this up still. Come back here and still kind of almost get some kind of management out of this here. And you can push the wheels back. Now again, Laserbeak's in there, so you're going to have that. If you put 3 discs in there, it's going to be all the way out here, which is quite ridiculous. And again, with this gimmick, I don't know if you could do it with the chest closed. We're going to try real quick. But we're going to take this. Yes, you can. As you can see, it only came out a portion, but voila. He flew out rather nicely, actually. He actually went straight forward. That was pretty cool. But you get the idea, guys. That is Soundwave's whole gimmick. I don't think it's that great. Other people do. Me, personally, just doesn't work for me. I really think these might just be purchased just so you can kind of shelve them with your deluxe Soundwave, your War for Cybertron version. But this is still a nice looking figure. Now to transfer him back, you're simply going to unpeg the gun right there, put that off to the side, flip his hands in, straighten out his head. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to mention. Under here, you can see there's some kind of like speaker system. That's kind of cool. Really no way to really show it too well, but it's there. So you can, I guess, get something cool out of that or put that like that. I don't know. It's really, I guess you could do that, but you're really going to block his face sort of, but that's in there. So that's a nice little plus. But once you put those fists in, you can open up these panels, put the wheels forward, rotate these, double hinge that section down, kind of put that over, do the same over here, pull this out all the way. Once those tab in, this will fold over the head and tab in together. And that I have issues with as well. That doesn't want to stay in tab too greatly either once you get everything in the works. Again, take these arms, just rotate them under. Come over here, do the same thing. And they'll just all blend in very nicely with the feet, rotate these wheel sections up, flip the feet all the way back, detach the crotch piece, make sure that tab's up there, and then you can tab this all in together. Once you do that, now you can take this and just rotate that up like so, come under here, and there's two tabs here again. Very loosely does it tab in there, but you can get that like that. Take his gun, whoops, and just peg this in up here. And now we have Soundwave back in his vehicle mode. Now overall, guys, I think this Soundwave figure is really fun, and I think it's going to be really enjoyable for kids, especially with that deployment there of all the data discs. I think he looks great. I just think he's oversized, really. And that's probably going to be my biggest issue with this figure, is how oversized he is. I really think the vehicle mode is really sized for Blaster. And also, it's just too bulky to be Soundwave. They did a really excellent job at making him look like Soundwave, as well as, you know, the wheels and everything, and giving us all the data discs to come with him. They did a really excellent job with that. As far as the gimmick goes, I really could deal without it. It doesn't work too incredible that it's going to pull people in. I mean, it pulled people in to purchase him because they saw it was something new, unknowingly, of how crappy the gimmick was going to be. But he's really, truly a fun figure. So if you don't have the Deluxe War for Cybertron Soundwave, I would absolutely say to pick this guy up. I don't see anything truly wrong with him other than a crappy gimmick. He's got great poseability. He's got great colors. He's got a nice weapon, very accurate. No crappy kind of powerizer inaccurate weapons. The only other thing is the weapon that we're shown in the box we don't get with the figure. Or I have not gotten with the figure. I don't know if that's something, you know, like I said, that was because of the packagings I picked up and other people have got guns. But other reviews I've watched, I have not seen anybody have a gun equipped with this guy. Once again, guys, stay tuned for more giveaways. Stay tuned for more reviews of your favorite Transformers. And once again, this is Mr. TF Prime, and I want to thank you for watching.